Hello there, my name is Pat Flynn. I'm here to help you make more money, save more time, and help more people too. If this is your first time catching me live, thank you so much. I'm a parent, I'm an entrepreneur, I've been doing it for 12 years, and I've been live for 88 days straight here on the income stream. Been going live ever since the quarantine started, and so welcome to the Quaranteam. We're gonna have some fun today talking specifically about pillar posts. What are they, why are they important, how to make them, and how to make the most of them too. So welcome, thank you so much for being here. Let me know, say hello in the chat if you're watching live, and if you aren't watching live, make sure to hit subscribe so that you can catch these live streams and other videos here on the channel later. Thank you so much, and welcome to the income stream.
This is the income stream to help you achieve your dream, all while we keep it clean. This is the income stream. It's the kind of show where you can come and go, but then you leave inspired with no fee required. The income stream with Pat Flynn.
All right, the intro worked today, which is really fantastic. Where am I today? I am in Cebu, which is where my mom's from. I am half Filipino myself, and I totally cut off the music again, but that's okay. We'll keep it going here. I'm so stoked for today because we're gonna be talking about a really important topic that's often overlooked in the blogosphere or in the podcastosphere or in the YouTubeosphere. And this is really key because pillar content can really define what your brand and what you are all about. And I think it's something that often is overlooked because we don't yet understand it, which is why we're here. And it can be sometimes very difficult to create. Now, mind you, my experience with pillar content over time has just been, it wasn't purposeful in creating pillar content for my stuff. It was just what I thought was necessary to get the best information out to everybody. And as a result of that, my blogs, my podcast, my YouTube channel continued to grow. And of course, more traffic equals more opportunity to help and serve people, perhaps grow your email list, and of course, the opportunity to then serve those people further with products, tools, resources, whether it's your own products or affiliate marketing or things like that. This week specifically, we were talking a load about traffic. This is, let's call it traffic week. So Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, we're gonna go into traffic related topics. Today, we're talking about pillar posts, sort of the foundation, if you will, or the thing that's gonna hold up the rest of your brand too. So let's say hello to everybody who's in the house. What's up, Chris? Great to see you here. Saying hello to Jay. What's up? How's it going, Jay? Great to see you too. We got Karma in the house. What's up, Karma? Great to see you there. Bernard, I love that shirt. Thank you so much. Mandalorian babysitting services. Let's see who else is in the house. We got Nancy. Who else is dancing? We got Just Samson, Spanish and Go, a whole bunch of other great people in the house too. Good morning, Franco. Great to see you here. Now, for those of you in the chat, let me know what you think the definition of pillar posts are to you. We'll talk about posts, but it could be videos, it could be audio, it could be whatever, but just pillar content in general. What do you think the definition is? And you know, there's formal definitions and stuff like that. Well, we could go into that, but I want to give you my own take with pillar content. Besides being probably the most important kind of content that you can create on your website, on your podcast, or on your video channel, to me, pillar content is a flag in the ground. It is you out there in the world going, this is what I want to become known for, and here's everything you need to know about it. Essentially the de facto guide or the de facto manifesto or the all you need to know one-stop shop resource about a particular topic. SEO, search engine optimization, is very much at play here. But in addition to that, it's an authority play for you as well. So those are the big two reasons that I recommend focusing on pillar content: SEO plus authority. And those things go together, of course. Authority being a very important piece of SEO in terms of authority of your website, but authority in terms of you and your expertise, authority in terms of how you can help people. And what's really nice about pillar content is it's content that's so obvious that needs to be shown in front of your people that you will, without even knowing it, put it in the proper places to then enhance your website overall for search engine optimization. What do I mean by that? Well, here's what the deal is. Search engine optimization definitely plays a role, and there's a lot of variables that go along with search engine optimization. For example, time on website. Well, a pillar post is typically longer, and I'll show you some data in just a moment about how longer posts get treated online. But because people are on your blogs or your videos or your podcast longer, guess what? It shows more signals to those platforms such that they will then reward you with more people, right? Especially on YouTube, the longer you can get people watching YouTube videos, the more people they will send your way, they being YouTube. The longer that you have people on your website, that's called time on site, the higher rankings you will get, right? There's a lot of factors for website SEO, including time on page, pages per visit, page speed, and of course, sharing, engagement, those kinds of signals. And of course, if a pillar post is there and it's highly engaged, because it is the de facto guide, plus people on your are on your website longer, that can only do nothing but help you, right? If that makes sense. Plus, like I said, it's your foot in the ground. This is what I stand for. This is what I want to become known for. It provides a great opportunity for you to earn more clients. It provides a great opportunity for you to earn more subscribers, to earn more customers or clients or course students or what have you, right? As let's see some examples here. Pillar content has to do with a resourceful article on your blog that covers all the aspects of a keyword. Yes, keyword definitely being a great part of it for sure. Authority in terms of relevance as well. Indeed, when you are showing up and speaking about and delivering these amazing guides, these ultimate guides, these beastly resources, I often call them, you can't help but show authority about that topic in general, even though you're not perhaps specifically covering that topic in that pillar post. Just the overall general topic, sort of zooming out a little bit, you have a little bit more authority of and for. Pillar content is probably the big part of your why. It starts with your why for sure, but it understands sort of the what. What is this going to be about? And that's where essentially we're going to start, right? I think the definition of pillar content is information that builds onto itself. It supports the idea or theme. Yeah, that's partly true, right? I think pillar content more, and I see where you're going in terms of pillar and architecture, right? Pillar being a post, right? Almost like a column that says, hey, here's something that's going to support you, something that's going to support the blog and the brand, and something that's going to lift up the entire sort of roof there. It holds up your content. 4 or 5 pillars, silos. This is what I'm about. Yes, and I'm going to give you some examples, but first let's go into computer here. I want to share with you an example of, and in fact, data coming from Neil Patel. Neil Patel is a old school marketer, good friend of mine, and he does a lot of data analysis on things and allows us to sort of understand what to do. And in this post that he wrote, why you need to create evergreen long form content and how to produce it, which of course, this is another aspect of your pillar post. It's long form, but it's also evergreen, something that a person can read now and a person can read a year from now. Again, it means you can also update it and keep it up to date over time for sure, as you should. But that's another thing about this. It'll be work that essentially pays itself off again and again and again. But here's some data from Neil Patel. It says, word count versus average linking domains. A linking domain is how many websites out there in the world are linking to particular pieces of content, right? And in a study done by HubSpot, featured here on neilpatel.com, word count, the higher the word count, the more people were linking to that post, right? Because it's probably a better resource, right? Not necessarily saying more words equals better, but kind of does, right? Now, I'm not just saying you have to just keyword stuff these posts, or you can just copy paste a whole bunch of lorem ipsum type stuff and put it in there, and that'll count as words. And therefore, because the word count is higher, you will get more links, you will get more of all these other things I'm about to share with you. But if you write it well, and there's that much content in there, it becomes one of these beastly resources that will then be more likely to and more worthy of being linked to, if that makes sense. Here's another one, word count versus average social shares. It's interesting that there's like a big gap here, then 0 to 249. There's a lot. I think Seth Godin has a lot to do with that because a lot of his content is very short form, in fact. But 2,500 plus word articles also earned the most social shares. 2,500 plus organic traffic, so quite up there, right? And then you can see here average shares by content length as well. Much, much higher. The more words there are, the more tweets, all that stuff, right? And he actually tested this with like a split test, control, and the challenger, and average word count by search ranking. It's pretty crazy. So he goes further in here to talk about why these things work, and there's a lot of very, very much specific stuff in here. For example, your H1s, your H2s, H3s, these are headers, right? Your main header is your main title with the keyword embedded in it, and then there's some sort of subheaders in there too. I have some examples of some pillar content that I want to share with you that's worked really well for me. This is by far the #1 post that has ever been ranked and sort of used for bringing traffic to the website. This is my how to start a podcast post. This was ranking #1 for about 6 years, and it's been over time updated, of course, and then there's been a lot more noise about podcasting now. So I've been outranked by websites like I don't know, Shopify and other places like that. So, it can be very difficult to compete, but you can compete. And in fact, this article tends to outrank those websites every once in a while too. And it's very competitive now. But this article, as you can see, goes into a lot. And I'm just going to continue to scroll down while I have coffee here. Sean said, I love how you just said lorem ipsum. Thank you. So, all the things that you might need to know about starting a podcast all in one spot. Now, does this go into massive depth? No, because, for example, making money with your podcast, that's the size of this section here. But I also have other content that talks and speaks specifically about that. And I'm going to go into the iPad here in just a minute and just kind of show you how a lot of this stuff is structured. But in the meantime, let me just erase this. And I don't know why I'm showing you why I'm erasing it, but just to kind of, interrupt the pattern just a little bit. Here's another example, affiliate marketing. The SPI Guide to Ethical Affiliate Marketing, right? So let's scroll down. What is affiliate marketing? Proof that this stuff works. Scroll down a little bit more. And look at this, chapters. Chapter 1, how affiliate marketing works. Chapter 2, how to start affiliate marketing. Chapter 3, affiliate marketing tips. Chapter 4. These are all subchapters of this main bigger topic, which then all, of course, relate to and link back to this other stuff. The other cool thing about pillar content is that it becomes such an obvious thing to link to that we often do a very good job of using it and interlinking between articles within our website versus other articles where we might not just remember that that's an important thing, or they get buried in the archive and they don't get brought back to the surface in new articles. When you write the de facto guide on affiliate marketing, you mention it in other places. When you talk about it within other posts, when I mention it in a podcast episode, I'll link to this guide, and it just becomes something that will naturally, most like Wikipedia, just is linked to because this is the guide, right? Like, you need to start thinking about your website sort of like a Wikipedia, and you need to have these pillar articles written about things and topics that you want to really, really understand and know about. Nancy says, that was the first post that I discovered Pat Flynn with. Still haven't started my podcast though I feel like such a non-starter sometimes. It's okay, Nancy. Sometimes I feel like that as well. Dr. Joella says, can I edit a post I made as pillar content once posted to make it longer? It would not be filler info. It would be additional relevant information. Yes, 100%. And this is something we should absolutely do. And you can even update the date of these pillar posts when you update them, which shows more relevance because Google does look at dates as one of the millions of things that they look at. But it also shows that you as a creator, you as a leader are stepping up to update this. And I will always include that if I update the post, because the person lands on the page, they can see, whoa, this website is up to date. This particular post has been added to over time, so it's been fine-tuned. It's not just a first draft, and that will often display even more authority too. So, taking you back to the affiliate marketing guide here, as you can see, there's a bunch of chapters. Each of these chapters is the same as, let's see, if I click on chapter 2, for example, it should say how to start affiliate marketing. Yep, right there at the top. And this becomes the de facto guide on specifically how to start affiliate marketing, which is just a more specific part of a larger whole, if that makes sense, right? And then I go into here, soft pitch pipeline. I really define this. This in and of itself is sort of the de facto guide about just starting, right? And then people will go further. I also use this opportunity to collect emails as well. And we have within each of our pillar posts a guide or a cheat sheet or a checklist or something where people can get some additional information. In this case, it's a 90-minute on-demand webinar, something that I offered in the past. Now, this stuff takes time, by the way, just so you know. Next chapter, affiliate marketing tips. If I click on that, the title matches this post, and now there's 32 affiliate marketing tips all in one spot. These become things that in and of itself, even though they're subchapters of a much larger whole, can be found in Google too. Now, you saw two different examples here. I showed you one blog post where how to start a podcast is all in one spot. This works really well because everything is all in one place, right? I also, let's see what the guide here is too. See, free checklist for starting and planning your podcast, right? So these are building my email list, and of course being found in Google as well. If I were to type in how to start a podcast, you can see down below, right here, how to start a podcast, really close to the top. What do we have here? Is this Shopify blog, and what is this? Podcast Insights and podcasthost.com, and then myself. With affiliate marketing, we're buried a little bit deeper, but we are working toward having more people link to this stuff, and we're doing a better job of going into our archive and linking to this stuff as well. Now, if you go to learn, you'll see what we are putting our foot in the ground and saying we want to have the best information about this, right? This is the beastly resource about these things. For example, let's talk about email marketing. Okay, email marketing, this particular post drives you to a lot of other places on the website that talk about email marketing, but then we have our de facto guide, right? How to start an email list and those kinds of things. So this is what we're putting our foot in the ground for. Here is an example from digitalmarketer.com. They want to own the keyword digital marketing, for example. So they created the ultimate guide to digital marketing, right? Now, mind you, you're likely watching this and you're like, whoa, this is so overwhelming. This is after 12 years of doing business for me. This is a digital marketer who has a team to do these things. I'm not saying that you need a team. I didn't have a team when I created my podcast post and my email marketing checklist and post, but you need to pick something to start with. And this becomes a project. This becomes something that much feels like a book, essentially. And if you were to take the number of words across all these different chapters and put them into a book, guess what? It would actually become something that would be like a book. And this is why it's so valuable, because it is seemingly like the best resource that's out there, but it's available freely for the web and people on Google to find, and of course people coming across your website. Again, it doesn't mean, and this question's been asked oftentimes here on the income stream before, it doesn't necessarily mean that, well, this is the only thing I need to do about this topic, this is everything you need to know. This is a great place to start, and oftentimes, because it is often overwhelming to a person even reading this, again, the advantage is you're capturing attention, you're building authority, you're getting keywords and keyword traffic, free organic traffic, and then you're building your email list. Or you're also sharing at the end of these or within a resource or an affiliate opportunity or a course or an opportunity to work with you. Whatever the case may be, this expertise has people know, like, and trust you, and then you can take them further. And oftentimes people will go further with you because, not just because you've proven yourself, but also because the thing that they're buying is much more convenient, or the post is a DIY and you are doing a done for you service or a done with you service instead, which has a lot of inherent value as well. Ooh. Margaret says, it's nice to see you're still working on things like your SEO pad. It makes what you're saying more real and less likely someone preaching from high. Yeah, no, I'm in this with you. That's always been my take. We're in this together. I'm just the guy with the machete kind of trailblazing for you, and I'll get cut up every once in a while, but I hopefully make it easy for you behind me, and then you just look out for me and make sure there's no tigers, lions, or bears coming at me, because tigers, lions, and bears all live in the same ecosystem. Cool. Rapid Combat, thank you so much. No reason for 65 thumbs up while we have 185 watching live. Hey, y'all, it's all good. I'm here to deliver for you. If you want to give back to me, that's cool. You can hit me up with a thumbs up too. Hashtag bruh. Appreciate you in advance for doing that. Thank you so much. Somehow, if I think about writing the beastly guide to my focus, it makes me think about it as a project I can sink my teeth into. Indeed, this is a project. This is not a blog post. This is not a podcast episode. This is a series of podcasts that you might do over a week. This is a series of YouTube videos. In fact, let me go to my YouTube channel, and I pulled something that was popular on my blog, and I did it on my website. So if I go to how to start a podcast, if I took something that was very good on my podcast or on my blog, and I did the same thing here on the podcast. Check it out. Third one down, 1 million views, how to start a podcast. And guess what? These videos in this playlist, by the way, please utilize playlists if you're on YouTube and you have a series of videos that work together. The cool thing about this is, oops, I don't know why I'm adding it to the queue. But playlists are things that can be found in addition to, they become another entry that people can find and come across. And of course, when you go to the podcast here, podcast tutorial, you'll see that on the right-hand side, there is I don't know why I have the queue up. I think that screwed it up. But there should be, oh, here we go. 16 videos.
Hi,
in
my
this
name's
playlist.
Pat Flynn, and I'm here to help you get your podcast.
Right? And these videos play one after another. Now look at these videos, look at the thumbnails. I just want you to pay attention to that, right? 1, 2, 3. Let's scroll down and you'll see these videos pop up down below too in this blog post. So now they're cross-promoting each other. And I think I'm just scrolling too fast, but the videos are there too. So now they're cross-promoting each other, right? So when you create these de facto guides, they work well too. They can also help you generate more income as well. For example, if I were to type ConvertKit, I've created a resource to help people with ConvertKit, and my video is the first one that pops up that is not from ConvertKit, right? So ConvertKit is an email tool. I've created a demo and tutorial, and that works really well. Ecamm Live. I'm like, hey, I want to start really focusing on live streaming, and hey, here's a video that's going to help you understand how to use Ecamm, right? So it's a mindset thing as much as it is a sort of strategical and tactical sort of fine-tuned piece of content, right? It's a mindset thing. This is what I want to become known for. I want to become known for email marketing and specifically driving people toward ConvertKit. So there's a demo, and of course that supports the content that I have on the website about email marketing. And now when people ask me, hey, do you have a demo of this? Yes, I do. Okay, here it is. And that's embedded on the post. And this video links to that post. So there's some cross-pollination happening as well. Again, this is just, hopefully you can see this is just a mindset thing of, okay, I want to become known and actually own that. I want to own that particular thing on the internet. And so I'm going to create the best and most beastly resource there is about that. Woo. Okay. A lot of stuff. This is a little deep, but this is why we talk about this, so we can start an understanding. And again, you don't have to know everything. You don't have to do everything. It, in fact, is something that can build on itself. If you have a topic, for example, that you know that you are really, really wanting to own, and you have some blog posts about that already, it might just be simply a way for you to start organizing this stuff and to display it on your website and to have a hub or a place where all of these posts about this topic are connected to, and you just simply write one beastly resource that then links to these other things, and then you link back to it. And that becomes where you define these things, where you talk about what keywords are important. So let's talk about, let's say if I were to create a beastly resource about live streaming. I haven't done this yet specifically about live streaming, but I wanted to demo this. I literally didn't know I was going to do this, so I'll be doing this live with you, right? So the way that I would start would be thinking about, okay, I want to create a resource about live streaming. And I want to see if I can own that. Now, one of the first things I like to do is do keyword research related to these things. And a very simple way to do this is to just simply go to a couple places. I'm going to go to Google, and I'm going to type in live streaming. And I'm just going to see what pops up here. I'm not even going to click enter. And these become notes that I take, right? So I'm going to write some of these things down. Again, this is research. I'm not putting anything together right now. But there is live streaming services. Let's see, software, platforms, camera, on YouTube. So there's some that sort of relate, like these two kind of relate to each other. Software and services sort of relate to each other. Camera and equipment. Okay, so now that we're here, I'm going to press enter. And I'm going to scroll all the way down because I want to see what's also related. These down here become very important to me as well. So I'm going to write some of these down. Live streaming websites. And a lot of them are similar too. Now, I'll go a little bit further because I want people to, when they come to this, understand how to live stream, right? So I'm going to do the same exact exercise. How to start live streaming. And now I see some more things pop up, right? On Twitch. On YouTube, which we already wrote down. On PC. Games. Discord, which is a sort of Slack-like audio-based channel. Instagram. Okay, so now I'm just essentially pulling keywords and things that help me start to organize these things. So I am already seeing that a blog post that I might be able to create would be something like starting with, what is, and then getting into a little bit about the software, and then platforms, equipment, also what to live stream, which goes into gaming that I saw. I also saw church services down here. So then this particular part of that article, or I can create individual articles about each of these things that tie into a much larger live streaming thing, right? And then I also often will include tips or mistakes. These are really, really attractive. 10 tips to get better at live streaming. Mistakes. I also want to know who else. Like, who are the authorities on live streaming? So what I'll do on Google here is I'll type in live streaming tips, and I'll see who is actually sharing this stuff, right? So I see 40 live streaming tips to make your broadcast better. Live streaming tips. So here's Nick Nimmin, who's a good person that I've seen. Livestream.com, Social Sprout. I'm not really getting the who here, but essentially if you've gone through Smart from Scratch, we're doing a similar type of exercise as the market map, right? We want to understand the people. We've figured out the places, but now we want to do the people. And then we also want to talk about the programs or the things that people might need to buy, which is where we can get a lot of affiliate income, right? If I have, for example, an article about live streaming software, I can then have certain affiliate links. And in fact, I've done something similar. I haven't put these together. I have pieces of them, right? I have the Ecamm live video. I have this page here on my website, patflynn.com/live setup. Now I can just begin to essentially rearrange patflynn.com/live setup no dash. So for example here, I wanted to create a really helpful resource about live streaming equipment, right? So this could be, for example, chapter 3 in a more bigger series about live streaming that can help me sort of own this a little bit more, right, as a resource. So this post here, as you can see, thank you for the super chat, hey Archer, appreciate you. Let's see, so this goes into the software that I use. This goes into the camera setup, the audio, the lighting. As you can see, I embedded a YouTube video that was a older review of a box that I use. This is the Rodecaster Pro. Lighting, I also go a little bit deeper into lighting as well. So this is the lighting that you're seeing legit right now, using a shirt almost of the same color. So this is overhead lights, turn that off, put in this aperture light that I have and link to and actually make money from by posting it here. And then so this is the view you see now. And that's the setup that you see right here. As you can see, hello, right there. That's me without a beard, which is really weird. And then just, again, this is like the de facto guide of, live streaming equipment, which can be part of a de facto guide on live streaming. So I've already have one piece, essentially, right? If that makes sense. I also have that YouTube video that I mentioned earlier, youtube.com, and then Ecamm live. So this, in and of itself, and create a dream stream. By the way, please hook people in your pillar content, in your videos, or any pieces of your pillar content, these additional subchapters. Please hook people in. Don't forget about your basic foundational things when it comes to content creation. For example, here's the hook here. So right now you're looking at my regular camera view. However, if we push this out just a, now you should see all the things I have at my disposal on my desktop that I see when I broadcast live. And when I conduct my live streams on Facebook and YouTube and Twitch or others, now I have access to making it the most entertaining, informative, and engaging live stream possible. And I want to offer that to you too. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to use a tool called Ecamm Live, which at this moment in time is just Mac only. I do have resources for PC users below too in the description, but I want to show you how to use these tools from all things like how to anyway, sorry, I got lost in there a little bit. But hopefully this is helpful to see how you can start to create like pieces of this ahead of time, right? So planning becomes an important part of this. my favorite strategy for understanding and planning this, and what I would do next after a little bit of this keyword research, is I would dive into, okay, well, what about live streaming should I even consider, right? So I'm not going to use Post-it notes right now because I don't want to waste paper, but I'm going to do some exercises here on the iPad right now. Let's just create a new layer, and I'm just going to brainstorm, right? I'm just going to brainstorm. I might do, software, like I said, right? Software, or I might do, structure for a show. I might just interaction and engagement, just whatever comes to mind, because our brains do a good job of coming up with ideas, but a terrible job of actually putting order to them. So let's do B-roll. How do I add B-roll in a live stream? Or how do I add music and audio? How do I add sound effects, right? Let's add computer requirements. What else about live streaming? Displaying comments. Again, they could be big, they could be small. How to manage comments. Then we get into getting viewers. How do we let people know? Schedule. How do we get more? How do we repurpose? Where do we repurpose? How? Where? So again, I'm just writing all these things down. I could keep going, but I'm not going to do that right now, because what I'm going to do is start showing you that there's going to be patterns, right? There's going to be patterns, right? So when I think about, okay, interaction, engagement, managing comments, displaying comments, these become components of, an article that I could write, or a section of a much larger article that I could write about the people who are watching, right? There could be one specifically about, getting viewers and repurposing, so getting more traffic to your stuff. Then I can go into another one specifically about, the actual part of the show itself. So structure for a show, maybe, and as you're doing this, you might get more ideas, right? Like topics or Q&A. That's that. I might have something specific to, I need more colors. So computer requirements and software, right? And platforms, right? So look at this now. Now I see, some purple here. I'm seeing some red here. This becomes an article. These green ones become an article. And now I can begin to organize this. And this is why I like Post-it notes, because I can just like rip off the Post-it note, put them together. And these things become the individual parts or chapters of these pillar posts that you might be writing. I always use this when I'm writing books, the same exact thing, to create this outline and to create the chapters. Oh, all these things belong in this chapter. Oh, all these things belong in this chapter. And now I can create order to them as well. The other thing that I would recommend you do is look at the other things that are out there already that talk about this thing, right? So if I'm just using this as an example. I'm going to go to the computer and I'm going to type in how to live stream. And I'm going to go and find the top articles. So this one seems to be a big guide, or the number one, like a big ranked guide. So as you can see, this is their pillar post about this, right? They almost share the how-to, the videos, and then configuring this stuff. And a lot of this stuff seems a little bit more advanced, encoders and whatnot. But as you can see, this is a great article, and they probably bring people to their products as a result of that. But hey, they know as a company how important this is too. You see, these images are great. The step-by-step process is great. So my goal coming in here would be, okay, how can I make my live streaming beastly resource, my pillar content, better than theirs? If I can make it better, more noteworthy, more shareable, more linkable, it's eventually going to, Google will eventually follow, right? But I have to do better. I want to have a better hook. I want to have better images. I want to have a much easier to read and a much more flowy step-by-step article. This is the way that you get better, right? Best practices, planning guide. This is great. I love the ideas that are coming in. hopefully it's good to see the example that I just kind of shared with you. I love the color coordination for items that go together. This is fantastic. It's so difficult to put everything together in a cohesive manner. Great. I'm glad you guys are enjoying this. This is something that, again, does not happen overnight. Rome was not built in a day. And your website and its pillar content will not happen overnight. This takes planning. So what I would recommend you do from this point forward, and then I'll answer some questions in the remaining 20 minutes here. And again, this is just a high-level view about this, but hopefully this specific example showed you how I would approach this. And then I would take in each individual post note, essentially, or each individual topic, and then just put the blinders on, and in my writing, whenever I have extra time, just focus on that, or shoot a video to talk about that topic, right? And the cool thing is on YouTube, these subtopics, like this this might be a video. Like this part could be a video. And here is part one of like, creating a good topic title to go along with this would make sense, right? Like, for example, 5 tricks to get live viewers to stick around, or to stop live viewers from leaving, or something like that, right? So then I can go, okay, trick number 1 would be to, engage. Here's some different ways that you can engage. Step number 2, display your comments as you are going, because that's how you can, like I'm doing right now, show people that you're actually paying attention to them, and you can address people, and it adds a little bit of pattern interrupt within something visual that people can watch too, right? Number 3, 3 ways to interact with your audience. These 2 things I'm seeing are very similar though. So again, this helps you break things down so you can have better focus while writing. So you're not coming at it with a position that a lot of us have, which is, okay, this is the topic I want to write about. I'm going to write the beastly resource. I'm going to create the best thing about it. Where do I even start, right? Break it down into smaller chunks so that you can create something. And then when you publish this thing, make a big deal about it, right? In fact, on SPI, we've stopped creating weekly blog post content. I don't know if you've noticed, but for about 10 plus years, we've written content that has been published on the website every single week. For 4 or 5 years, it was just me. Then I hired a team. We were able to get even more consistent. I was able to take myself out of the process more, and it became a machine, right? A content creation machine. We have over 1,600 posts on the website. However, we've completely stopped publishing weekly content in lieu of this strategy, which is we want every piece of content that comes out on the blog to be something that when it does come out, people go bonkers about it. They get excited about it. The latest thing that we published was specifically about online courses. So if we go to Learn, Online Courses, this is the last one that came out. This essential guide here, the essential guide to online courses. This came out last month, right? And again, a checklist or guide to help you with course creation. Scroll down here and you're going to see chapters. Chapter 1, what is an online course? Chapter 2, how to create an online course, first steps. Chapter 3, how to start selling your online course. Chapter 4, online course creation marketing tips. Number 5, number 6, number 7. Another example is our good friend Brian Dean from Backlinko. This is a pillar article that he comes out with every year, and he updates this every year. So to Dr. Joella, who was like, can you update this? Yes, this is his post that's been updated. It has a lot of links to it already. He just, every year he changes it because it's about SEO this year. And it stacks the shares on top of each other every single year. And as a result, this becomes the de facto guide, right? SEO in 2020. I would imagine his stuff is going to be, look at that, it's number 1, legit number 1 or number 2. So now, hello 2020, now watch this article. Contents, chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3, chapter 4, chapter 9. Content that makes you want to keep reading. Examples, images to break up the content. It's not just one giant essay. Proof that he's doing what he's talking about. Chapter 2, a little header. This is all on one page versus all on separate pages. There's pros and cons to each, right? There's pros and cons to each, so you'll have to make a decision. Brian wants to own SEO for the whatever year it is, which makes sense, which has him go a little bit further, but not necessarily worry about keywords in the subtopics, right? The rise of visual search. Visual search is, a searchable thing for sure. This is an important thing for SEO. I would, in fact, read this for sure. But if I scroll down, where's the next section? Was that the next section? Chapter 3. So as you can see, very, very easy to follow all the way down. And then you can add to this over time, right? Video continues to surge, and he shows like little snippets and things like that showing up. Video SEO, which he does own as well on YouTube. In fact, he has a lot of videos that are doing really well on YouTube. And he even shows examples of what he means. Look at it. This is on Google, YouTube SEO, and some of his videos are popping up, which also shows proof that he knows what he's talking about, but also shows proof about the topic, right? So whenever you can share proof that your stuff works, then for sure, focus on that. So he has all this on one page. I would be curious to see how many words. How many words on website? Web page. Web page word counter. Let's pop that in here. 32,000 words. This is a book. This is a book, but he wants to own this, and he has to go a little bit further because SEO is one of the most competitive things out there. And especially for SEO, trying to rank for the term SEO, it's kind of meta, right? Because it's search engine optimization to rank for the term search engine optimization or SEO. So he's got to work extra hard because everybody who wants to rank for that is also an expert at SEO. So he is taking the strategy of, I'm going to write the de facto guide. 34,000 words, 33,000 words. They can't compete with me on that because these agencies have a lot more time on their hands to do, or they need to do these other things. I have the ability to do this, Brian says, and then he's able to rank for that. Cool. Thank you for the likes. We're over 100, which is great. I appreciate that. Yeah, 21,000 shares. But yeah, and the cool thing about Brian is he makes this stuff really easy, right? He makes this stuff really easy. Dang, I just lost track of time and got here. I'll be watching the replay for sure. Yeah, we're already 17 minutes from the end, which is pretty crazy. Dude, this is insane. Question. Thanks, Anything Cameras. I sent a super chat last week for another channel review, but I think you forgot to do it for me the past 2 days. I feel bad for reminding you, but told me on Saturday, and I didn't. I didn't see you in the chat. I would have been reminded. I didn't do it because I didn't see you there. I apologize, but we can definitely do that perhaps within the last 5 minutes here, if that would be cool. Or I can stay an additional 5 minutes, no problem. I don't have a meeting right after that. So why don't you stick around to the end and we'll do that. Hashtag bro. Bruh. Appreciate that. Cool. So here's what I would do from this point forward. I would, number one, whoops, I'm writing in a hidden layer. And I want to write with a black pen. Okay. So number one, choose a topic that you want to own. Right? That you want to own. And you don't want to just choose something random that you want to own. You want to choose something that's relevant to you and your goals and what you want to become known for. If you could ideally get traffic for a certain keyword or phrase, what would that be? And I want you to I don't just want you to think, oh, this would give me the most traffic. I want you to think, well, what would give me the best traffic? Best traffic meaning if people are typing in that thing, for example, how to start a podcast, that would be amazing because now people come to me and I teach people how to start a podcast, both for free and in paid guides and courses. So I want you to consider what the topic is, but not just like it's a cool topic or it gets a lot of traffic, but what makes sense for you and where you want to go. What kinds of people do you want to help, or what might you have or want to come out with in the future that can then bring that traffic to the next level, right? So that's what I would do with number one. And then number two, like we did earlier. So research. I want to approach this like it's a book. A book has a main topic, but it also has chapters. I want to know what the chapters are of this topic, right? Just like I showed you right there. And then number three, I would build an outline. Outline the beastly resources. I know I always call it that, but I want I want you to have people go to the page or go to the website, or go to the video playlist, or the series of videos, or the series of podcast episodes. This mainly works better, however, for blogs and websites and YouTube. Not as great in podcasts. The podcast can support. The podcast, in fact, should have stories that perhaps can then point back to this, or be even embedded within some of the chapters, because podcasts are meant for storytelling. Podcasts don't get found as much in search engine optimization, and it's a lot harder to just sort of sift your way through. It becomes, this is the struggle with audio, is we can't like get a preview of what we're about to listen to until we listen to it. With a blog or a video, we can actually see or actually get guidance on what's coming up and understand that that's what we want, more so in a blog, of course. But outline the beastly resource. I want people to go to this thing that you're creating and go, whoa, this is like the beastly resource on this thing. I need to link to it, right? Make it link worthy, share worthy, right? Number 4, I'll then start creating. Start creating it in whatever way that you find it's best for you to create. And again, this is very high level, so it's a lot. I know you might be overwhelmed right now. Don't think that if you aren't doing this, you're doing it wrong. You just have an opportunity to do something even better, right? Most people do not have the mindset of, I'm going to own this topic. I'm going to have the de facto guide on this. This is what I want to become known for. But again, make sure that also you include, and this might be step 5, if you will, create a lead magnet. A lead magnet is something that you can create to entice people to get more emails. And it should be something that is uniquely created just for this beastly resource, for this pillar article or pillar post. And it can be something that would enhance or supplement it, right? Like, for example, you saw in the Essential Guide to Online Marketing here on my stuff, get the online course creation template, a series of worksheets to help you think through your content, turn your ideas into a cohesive online course. And then you can get this guide by just putting your name and email there. And that's a specific lead magnet, essentially a content upgrade that would encourage people to, when they're going to this online course resource that we created, to drop in their email, and I can work with them further. I do not have a course personally to help people create online courses, but I do have resources and affiliate links to other people's stuff. David Simon Gartland and Amy Porterfield, of course, her Digital Course Creation Academy. And her stuff is excellent as well. So even if you don't have your own products, you can still send people elsewhere, right? You can still send people elsewhere. Let me give you some more examples of that, right? So let's see. In the book publishing space, we have book publishing. This is something that we have some authority content over, but we haven't leaned into it as much. But there's a book publishing guide here on the website. And I have 3 books that have performed very well. One of them became a Wall Street Journal bestseller. And you'll see, for example, at the end here, take your book publishing to the next level. And I partnered with somebody, right, to help. Actually, is that here? Yes. So this is who I partnered with, Azul and Steve from Authors Who Lead. So I don't have yet my own products to help people get their book written, but I do have partnerships, and those can work their way in here as well. And you can generate income from it, right? Even on a micro level, kind of owning the de facto guide on a particular tool can be an approach that you can take too. So instead of a guide about live streaming, I can just hone in specifically on a particular tool. Now, you got to be careful about that, because when you essentially build your business or create something specific about another tool, well, then you are at the whims of that tool and that company and whatever they might want to do, right? So for example, if I were to create and become known for sort of just the expert on Ecamm Live, which is again, a software that you can use, that I'm using right now to go live and do things like this and just make it fun and exciting here on the income stream, hashtag. Bruh. I have to make sure it's updated, because over time, Ecamm's going to make updates. They're going to add new things. And I have to know that I'll have to create new content. And if that's something I don't necessarily want to do, you got to be careful, because the stuff can get old quite quickly, especially if you use other people's tools. And depending on how much or what you do with those tools, perhaps you could potentially create courses about that. I know a person, his name is Michael Joseph. He is somebody Joseph Michael, excuse me. He has become somebody who's become an authority in the world of Scrivener, right? Scrivener is a tool that authors use to write. So he has Joseph Michael at Scrivener Coach, right? So Scrivener is a tool that he's become known for, and he's stepped into this. He's created a course himself to help people through Scrivener, but Scrivener is not his product, right? So if I go to, learn Scrivener fast, Scrivener is not his tool, but he's created a guide to help people through that tool, and he stepped into that. But of course, Scrivener can at any moment in time say, hey, Joseph, we're actually going to create our own resource and we don't want you doing this anymore. You're using our name, you're using our domain and our trademark, so you can't do this anymore. Thankfully, he and Scrivener have a really good relationship, and hopefully there's an understanding, but they could still do that at any time, right? He's a little bit under their control in that way. In addition, when Scrivener comes out with new resources, or maybe they come out with a 3.0 version that is completely different, well, guess what happened to all of Joseph Michael's trainings? They're now old and outdated. So he has to come in and continue these things. And I think that for whatever it is, even if it's something that is not necessarily about another person's product, but about something like SEO that changes every year, it should be something that you can update and should update every time. Woo! All right. Good stuff, guys. Thank you, Moody. Appreciate you. Hashtag burnout. What's up? Cool. Question, do you integrate the lead magnet signups and also include them on the Smart Digest list? If so, how does that process look? So, yes. So let's say, for example, you have an email list already. You come out with a new de facto guide about something that includes a lead magnet. Here's what I would do. Instead of having people who are already subscribed have to go get that guide and then sort of put in their name and email again to go get it, which can often add complications, although in most cases you can have it be something that can easily be delivered whether a person is brand new to your list or not. Here's what I would do. You have the opportunity, if you create a new guide that has a new lead magnet, give your email subscribers early, maybe a day or two before that guide gets published, early access to that lead magnet. They're already subscribed to your list. It becomes a really nice surprise and a really nice gift that's free, and it doesn't take any extra work except an additional email with a direct link to go download that thing, because they already have access to your email list. So you don't need to sell it anymore. You give it to them as a gift, right? So with your online, with the online course creation template that we can do, 2 days before it gets published, and this is already done. So I'm just giving this to you as an example. I go, hey, you are subscribed to my email list. I appreciate you. We are coming out with the de facto online guide about how to build an online course. And in preparation for that, I wanted to give you early access for free to our template. You don't need to sign up. Here is the link to download, or here is it in the email. I would have a link to download it because you don't want to include an attachment to the email, which you can't really do through an email service provider anyway. But then it becomes a really nice, wow, thank you so much. Awesome, we get early access to this. And now what am I doing? I'm also seeding that this article is coming out very shortly here. And so when I reach back out to them later, I would have already given them something. And then I'm going to be more likely to get in return a person to click to see that, to get a person to share it, especially if I ask, right? If that makes sense. So much value. Thank you, Sochi. Appreciate you. I suck at lead magnets. Can you provide some advice of good lead magnet for podcasting? So you can create what's called a content upgrade if you have a particular article or a blog post or a podcast episode, and there's something supplemental that you can create that would help people who are all about that particular piece of content alone. You can create a checklist. You can create a quick start guide. You can create a helpful video that walks people through something that you just lightly touched on that topic, and that could go a very long way for sure. I would recommend going to youtube.com and typing in lead magnet ideas. And when you go there, you're going to see a video from me with 17 lead magnet ideas. So I'm going to give you this. So again, lead magnet ideas, and then I'll take you to this video. Phrasing is really what it is. It reminds me of the game Genie back when I played Nintendo. That's where I was talking about the idea of a cheat sheet, right? Because people love cheat sheets where they can get access to some things that would help them, level up much faster, if that makes sense. Question, Pat, can you expand on the pros and cons of long chapter-based format versus multiple pages? Sure, Chris. So when it comes to the long format, it can often be overwhelming to the reader, for sure, because it's one giant page, right? So that's number one. So it could decrease the time on site and you don't get additional pages per view, right? It's just one page versus perhaps somebody going through 8 pages if it was broken down. In addition, it is something that will take longer to create. So one giant thing, you'll have to kind of wait till the end in order to publish it versus if you divide it into chapters, you can almost roll it out as you are creating it, which could be a great strategy too. You get people excited about it. Every time you come out with a new chapter, it can become something that would be a great excuse to email people with and collect more emails with, etc. Also, you have the one post that can become the guide, right? And you don't get access to, or are less likely to get access to, becoming ranked for those subterms unless you have those other chapters, which the purpose of those subchapters is to rank for those subterms, which then are a smaller part of a larger whole, if that makes sense. Woo-woo. What's up? Pratap, great to see you here. Thank you so much. Question from B Hooked Crochet. Do you integrate the lead magnet signups for the pillar posts to also include them on the Smart Digest list? If so, how does that process look? I think I answered that already. No way. Karma says, Pat, I think this is one of my favorite episodes of the stream in the whole 88 days you've been doing this. Really great content here. Thank you. I wanted to go a little bit deeper this week. And so we're going to talk more about traffic building this week. So I'm not going to tell you tomorrow's topic. You got to make sure you come and join tomorrow. patflynn.com/theincomestream. I'm going to help you get more traffic to your stuff tomorrow in a different way. Today we're talking about pillar content, which I think is something that we should all be focusing on. A lot of the stuff I'm going to offer tomorrow could be a little bit of more choose your own adventure-y, but I would definitely recommend consider how you might become known for something, and you can create a piece of content, a pillar article, a pillar video series that will help you become known for that thing and could obviously help drive more traffic, but also help you build more authority, help you drive more people to your email list or any products that you might have too. And this is where you get to also differentiate yourself from other people who are in the same space as you, right? So in the online marketing, online business space, my team and I, we purposefully created the de facto guide on podcasting because that was what I was becoming known for. And we stepped into it and we leaned into that, and that brought more traffic over. And it also helped me stand out from other people talking about online business because nobody, guaranteed, nobody who teaches entrepreneurship has the kind of content that I have about podcasting. And it might sound a little bit of like big-headed to think that way, but you kind of have to step into it. You kind of have to own it. Like, what if I were to tell you, yeah, I talk about podcasting. It's something that, I talk about it, but there's other people that talk about it too, and you can get their stuff elsewhere. Now, how much of an authority am I feeling to you versus, on my stuff, I help entrepreneurs grow and scale their online business and brands, and I happen to have the #1 guide on the internet and on YouTube about how to start a podcast. That says something, doesn't it? Right? That absolutely says something. And so now you're more able to trust. And with podcasting and how it's growing, obviously that's been helpful, and the timing has been really good. But yeah, hopefully that makes sense. Woo! Thank you. What amazing value. Thank you so much. I got so many notes off of today's stream. Will collabs help? Yeah, collabs could be cool too because you can actually include other people who might be experts on those subtopics within your much larger whole. And it might be a great way for you to offer, a platform for them because you're going to get traffic to this thing. And it might be, chapter 3, we do a collab like, hey, I am, talking about live streaming software in this particular post. And, to help us today, we have the founder of Ecamm Live here, right? And we're going to go over 10 different tips. And because they get access to all this data, they have more knowledge than I do about this. So let's feature them here. And of course, they're getting linked to from that post. Cool. Awesome. Yes, excellent topic and depth of learning. I love getting sampler of your resources to research later. Thank you so much. Yes, and don't forget about Anything Cameras. That's where I was going to go. So Anything Cameras, let me know, is it website or YouTube channel? And if you do have the website, pop it in here so I could see that specifically. That would be helpful. But yeah, great stuff today, and I'll do a quick website review for you. We'll spend about 5 minutes here at the end. So, hey, make sure you hit that thumbs up if you haven't already. And again, also make sure you go here, patflynn.com/theincomestream. and that would be really cool. Tomorrow is Tuesday, so yes, 8 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Eastern. The only day it's different is Wednesday, where we come in a half hour earlier, so just keep that in mind. Thank you so much for breaking this down. You're welcome. That doesn't sound big-headed. It is authority that is helping people. That is generous. Thank you so much. Exactly. YouTube channel, please. Okay, just making sure. All right. So let's review the YouTube channel, right? To finish up here, a little bonus here for you too. And I remember this because we were really working on the artwork at the top and really helping people understand, okay, what are they going to get when they get here? And photo and video gear tutorials, explanations, and everything in between. Videos every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 8 a.m. Eastern. Cool. I would have the Monday, Wednesday, Friday be a different color or something a little bit different that stands out. And I would also have gear tutorials, explanations there too. The last thing that's missing here is like, what makes yours different? Are they quicker? Are they more in depth? Are they like, what's different about yours versus others? That's the only thing missing here, but you're very close. I love the images. I love that it just seems very friendly. I like that. I don't like how the cameras gets a cutoff on the bottom here. You could potentially squeeze that in a little bit more so I see the entire logo, and it's just going to be a matter of resizing, which is no problem. 5 2-light setups in 5 minutes. Okay, I'm just looking at thumbnails. Love the coloring in the background too. A powerful tool for photo and video that costs only. And you gotta, here's the other thing. This is just a little nitpicky, but you'll see that you have text at the bottom right-hand corner. It's gonna be covered up by the little timestamp there that this is 4 minutes and 51 seconds. So I can't see $20. It almost looks like $2012, right? So you can move this over to the other side. But I like this. I think you can actually zoom in a little bit more because we're seeing, like, when you see a person's face, it's more likely to be clicked, right? So zoom in on the thumbnail and let's really see the detail of what this is. And you don't have to see as much as the background. Same thing for this image here. This image makes sense. I would have like 1, 2, 3. In fact, working with 3 lights, I think an overhead diagram of like where the lights should be and perhaps where you should be could be more interesting than just like you holding up 3 lights. And these two almost look the same. This one's a really good thumbnail, but maybe an arrow pointing at where the sensor is could draw my eye in a little bit closer versus you just holding up a camera. And the sensor's text here kind of blends in with the background, so it doesn't stand out as much versus this one working with 3 lights. I like how it's much better than what it was before though. Let's play one of these videos that you recently came out with, and let's consider the hook, right? So this one came out 4 hours ago. If you happen to have social media connections or channels out there, like try to get some views immediately if possible. Post it out there on social media, repurposing this or at least just sharing it makes sense too. You're in a very competitive space, so all these little nitpicky things are going to help you in the long run for sure. So, but let's play this.
It costs only $20. It can be used as a light. It can add a light. It can subtract light. It can modify light. It is easily portable, and it's one of my favorite tools to use in photo or video. It is a 5-in-1 reflector, and today we're going to talk about why you need one for your photo or video endeavors. Let's get to it. So this right here.
Cool. I like the jump cuts. That's great. I love that you're doing that. That's highly engaging. Let's listen to this intro one more time. In fact, I need to put these on because your voice is a little soft, and I have my volume turned up all the way. So just pay attention to the audio. I think it's a little bit soft here, but let's go back.
It costs only $20. It can be used. It costs only $20. It can be used as a light. It can add a light. It can subtract light. It can modify light. It is easily portable, and it's one of my favorite tools to use in photo or video. It is a 5-in-1 reflector. And
okay, so you created this nice open loop, but then you revealed it after 14 seconds. And my worry is that there's going to be some people who go, oh, that's it, or maybe they just don't understand how important this is to use. So hopefully we get more into that.
Today we're going to talk about why you need one for your photo or video endeavors. Let's get.
What if somebody has one already? Then they're out. I think that also explaining how people can use this could be really interesting, or some unique ways to use it, right? Like you have to try and have a catch-all, right? So if I were to do this video, powerful tool for video that costs only $20. Cool. So you're not doing this for keywords, right? So this is hard because you're just starting out. You don't have specifically keywords in the title. So you're not going to be found as much with search for what it is this is, like a reflector, right? So nobody's typing in a powerful tool for photo or a powerful tool for video. So this is more of a browse play. So we're hoping what happens is YouTube will share this with people and they will watch it and they will like it and they'll stick around. And then YouTube will put it out there in front of more people. And this becomes more of a draw in terms of the title and the thumbnail, which is why, again, the thumbnail is super key here, because when YouTube shows impressions of this to loads and tens of thousands of people, we want to have people click through. And the reason why it's not likely getting a lot of views right now, or perhaps might not ever, is because even though YouTube is trying to help you, you're not helping YouTube. So let's get that thumbnail nailed down. But the way I would start this video would be maybe even, some sort of hook to get people watching all the way through. So, I like how you're hooking people with this powerful tool that can help be used in all these different kinds of ways. But I think a video that might be more interesting would be 10 unique ways to use this $20 tool for photo and video, or a $20 tool, a $20 photography and video tool, and 10 unique ways to use it. I think the 10 unique ways, or 10 surprising ways to use this $20 photo and video tool, right? And now I want to stick around because I want to see how you're using it. You're just revealing the tool here, which again is something that people likely already have, versus the methods by which you can use this, which could also simultaneously introduce people to this tool as well, right? So if I were to look at like camera hacks, Peter McKinnon, I'm probably going to see, look at this here, 8 camera hacks in 90 seconds. So this thumbnail, how could you not want to click on this? This is the video that put Peter McKinnon on the map. This one right here, right? And I don't think he even talks in this video too. So anyway, I'm wondering if in this video you have, and I know I'm spending a little bit more time on this.
So this right here is the reflector that I have. This is a newer 5-in-1 reflector.
So I want to see, like, is it just you speaking the whole time, or do we have any B-roll or interesting things? See, even just retitling this might actually do the work, right? I like how you have outro and bloopers. That's cool. Diffuser, white side. So to me, this could either be, instead of a powerful tool for video, to me, you can even just reframe this, the ultimate guide to using a reflector in less than 5 minutes. I would just reveal what it is, because that way you can perhaps get found for reflector, if that makes sense. Cool. So hopefully this helps. I didn't optimize title for SEO because of Tim Schmoyer's podcast. He had said never optimize title for SEO. That's one person's opinion. I mean, you're going to go to other people and you're going to see other people say the exact opposite, right? So test. I think that because Tim is so big and he helps a lot of big YouTubers, I think that makes sense, right? Peter McKinnon does not have to ever worry about keywords anymore. But when you're just starting out, especially if you're talking about a specific product, you want to be found for that product, I think. And that's a great introduction to have people find you, and then you can get into some more content. When you talk about a product, I think it should be, if you don't have that big audience yet, it should be definitely something that's more of a search play. And again, that's my opinion. So anyway, hopefully that helps give you some advice. But really try to focus on, when you're creating these videos, okay, where are people going to come in from? And then how can we keep them watching all the way through? You need to be a little bit clickbaity. You have to in the world of YouTube, right? And yeah. So glad this was helpful. Sticking around a little bit longer, but that's okay. And yeah, I got to go. But hey, everybody, thank you so much for today. I hope it was helpful to you. And make sure to share this, or make sure to come back tomorrow as well. patflynn.com/theincomestream. We'll talk more about getting traffic. And yeah, I got to head out. But hey, Team Flynn for the win. I appreciate you. And as always, we'll see you tomorrow. Peace out.
This is the income stream to help you achieve your dream, all while we keep it clean. This is the income stream. It's the kind of show where you can come and go, but then you leave inspired with no fee required. The income stream with Pat Flynn.
Peace out, y'all. Love you.
Bruh.